Eldritch Soup for your soul. What's going on, everybody? This is Eldritch Soup for the Soul, and for today we are going to be starting a little mini-series which I'm going to be calling GPT some COC. Ever since Chat GPT came out, I have tried to run certain prompts to be able to solo run games like Dungeons & Dragons and more specifically Call of Cthulhu, which have not ended well at all. Not because the AI couldn't render a proper scene or a story, it just had zero continuity between sessions. So I found this little website called RPGPrompts, and I am not sponsored, I promise. And it runs Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, as well as Star Wars, and we all know where I'm going with this one. And the prompt is pretty extensive, so I have some pretty high hopes for this. So I have the Chat GPT ready to go, and it pre-generates a character sheet, which I have written down, as well as backstory and stuff like that. And this investigation is called Cosmic Detective Unveils. And our investigator will be Sabrina, a 32-year-old occult detective. And judging by her skill set, she is great at library use, stealth, persuasion, first aid. She does have some firearms in there, spot hidden checks, and of course a 75% occult skill. Her size also gives her a -2 damage bonus, so we will be not brawling anything or anyone anytime soon. How we're going to play Sabrina is we're going to research the hell out of everything. We're only going to fight if absolutely necessary, and if we have to, we're going to rely on stealth and firearms. If it gets to that point, she does have a very high persuasion skill as well as lockpick and spot hidden. So it's going to be get in, get out, no conflicts. We'll see how well that goes. All right, character backstory. Sabrina has always had an intense fascination with the occult. As a child, she would spend hours poring over books on forbidden knowledge, delving into the mysteries of the universe. As she grew older, she honed her skills as an occult detective, using her knowledge to uncover hidden truths and solve supernatural mysteries that plague the world. Her reputation for unraveling the unknown has made her a sought-after expert in her field. I'm going to go with that she probably solved some small-time mysteries. I highly doubt she countered Cthulhu or anything crazy like that, because there is 0% chance to investigate anything like that and maintain your sanity. We will be starting our investigation in good old Arkham, Mass. Backstory summary. Sabrina, an intense occult detective, finds herself in Arkham, a city known for its dark secrets and connection to the occult. Her reputation has brought her here, as whispers of a mysterious cult have reached her ears. Determined to uncover the truth, Sabrina prepares to delve into the depths of cosmic horror that lurk beneath the surface. So pretty vague, but I mean, as far as a backstory, that's totally acceptable. The whole point is she has to go to Arkham and investigate these things. She wouldn't really know them out the gate, so. The rain pours relentlessly as Sabrina walks the streets of Arkham, her coat soaked and heavy. The city seems cloaked in an eternal gloom, its old buildings standing as silent witnesses to the secrets they hold. The year is 1925, and the weight of the cosmos presses down upon Sabrina's shoulders as she senses the encroaching darkness. Her footsteps echo through the empty streets, each step bringing her closer to the heart of the enigma that awaits her. The narrow alleys and dimly lit storefronts are shrouded in a perpetual mist, lending an eerie atmosphere to the city. Arkham's Gothic architecture looms above Sabrina, its twisted spires reaching towards the heavens as if calling forth ancient deities. The sound of distant church bells reverberates through the air, a somber reminder of the forces at play. As Sabrina investigates the winding streets, she passes by a curious shop, its windows displaying an array of arcane artifacts and tomes. The sign above the entrance reads, "Whispers of the Unknown," and a flickering gas lamp casts an eerie glow upon the doorway. The owner, an elderly man with a long white beard, peers out from behind the counter, his eyes filled with both curiosity and caution. So the game gives us some options. It says, investigate the shop, head to Miskatonic University to consult their library, seek out local rumors at the local pub, the Shrouded Lantern, return to my lodgings to rest and prepare for the impending investigation, or blindly venture into the nearby woods, where whispers of ancient rituals have been heard. So venturing in the woods is by far the stupidest thing you can possibly do at this point. Return to my lodgings to rest, so I'm going to assume it's nighttime, but I'll double check with that. Best options are investigate the store and investigate the pub, but let's do the store first. And the one thing it didn't tell me is if I had any starting equipment, so let's do that before venturing into the unknown. Okay, so she starts off with a lot of stuff. That was good to know before doing this. She starts off with a revolver, a flashlight, a pocket knife, notepad and pen, occult books and references materials, badge/identification, lockpicks, first aid kit, and a small amount of currency. What does that even mean? So I will be starting with 12 bullets, $100, and 5 lockpicks. I also asked what day and time it was. It is 9 p.m., October 17th, 1925. Let's go into the store. Sabrina pushes open the creaking door of the Whispers of the Unknown and steps into the mysterious shop. The tingling of a small bell announces her arrival, and the musty scent of ancient parchment and incense fills the air. As she scans the dimly lit space, her eyes meet those of the shop owner, an elderly man with a long white beard. His gaze is shrewd, yet tinged with curiosity. Sabrina approaches the counter and greets him. "Good evening. I hope I'm not intruding. I was wondering if your shop is still open for business." We're going to narrate this old guy as creepy as possible. The shop owner's eyes twinkle with a mix of wisdom and intrigue. He adjusts the spectacles perched on the bridge of his nose and responds in a raspy voice.
"Indeed. We are always open to those who seek knowledge beyond the mundane. How may I assist you, my dear?"
So the options we get are inquire about any recent occult-related incidents or unusual occurrences in Arkham, ask about any rare or forbidden tomes in the collection, seek advice on investigating the mysterious cult, request information about the shop owner's background, inquire about any hidden secrets or rumors surrounding the town. So right out the gate, I don't trust this guy at all. Anyone who has knowledge of the occult or owns an occult shop is definitely shady. So seeking what this guy knows is going to be very important, just like I'm not going to come in guns blazing and asking about specific information to give away that I'm possibly investigating the area. So let's ask him about his background. Okay, so right into the first speed bump. In the beginning of the game said if you wanted to perform an action, use the brackets with the number, or to use quotations to ask a question. So I just tried to use the brackets and then number 3, and it just gave me a completely different option. So I had to go back and say, I take that response back. Please ask about this. So they did it. So onward. Sabrina adjusts her focus and asks the shop owner about his background and expertise in the occult. With a slight smile, the shop owner straightens his posture, his eyes gleaming with a hint of mystery.
"Ah, my dear, you wish to know about the humble proprietor of this establishment. Well, I have traversed the realms of the arcane for many decades, studying the ancient texts, deciphering cryptic symbols, and delving into the forbidden knowledge that lies beyond mortal comprehension."
He gestures to the shelves filled with occult paraphernalia.
"This shop is a culmination of a lifetime of exploration and fascination. I have encountered the darkest secrets and witnessed the unfathomable horrors lurking in the shadows. My purpose is to provide those who dare to seek enlightenment with the tools and wisdom they require."
The shop owner's voice takes on a somber tone.
"But be warned, my dear detective. The path I have walked is not one without sacrifice. The pursuit of forbidden knowledge exacts a toll on the soul, and it is not a burden to be taken lightly."
TLDR, this guy is super cool. So my options are to inquire about specific areas of occult expertise he possesses, ask if he has any potential encounters with cosmic horrors, inquire about any unusual artifacts he may have acquired, seek advice on how to protect oneself from malevolent forces, inquire about any well-known occult scholars or organizations he might be aware of. So Sabrina, in my mind, doesn't want to let on too much without giving too much away. So I'm not going to ask about like rare artifacts that he may have acquired, because at that point he might have mistrust in me and just think I'm here to buy something. I also don't want to ask how to protect myself, because it's going to come off that I might have no idea what I'm doing and I'm a good target. I'm also keeping in the back of my mind that people who are in the occult are not to be trusted. So I don't know if he has any connection with the cult or anything like that, so I'm going to try to keep this as neutral as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if he has any personal encounters with cosmic horrors, because I would be continuing to ask him about his knowledge of this stuff. Sabrina leans closer, her eyes filled with anticipation, and asks the shop owner about the cosmic horrors he has encountered in his experiences. The shop owner's gaze becomes distant, his voice carrying a weight of both trepidation and awe.
Cosmic horrors. The mere mention of them sends chills down my spine. I have glimpsed the true nature of the universe, the vastness of its horrors that lie beyond our comprehension.
He takes a moment to collect his thoughts before continuing.
There are entities, ancient and unfathomable, that dwell in the depths of the cosmos. Their very existence defies human understanding. They whisper their dark secrets to those who dare listen, twisting the minds of the unwary.
The shop owner's voice trembles slightly as he recounts.
I have encountered the lingering presence of Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos, whose shifting forms and sinister influence seep into the world like a poison. I have witnessed the echoes of Azathoth, the blind idiot god, whose mere presence threatens to unravel the fabric of reality.
He leans closer, his voice barely above a whisper.
And there's the great old one, Cthulhu, the entity that slumbers beneath the ocean depths, waiting for the stars to align and herald its awakening. Its very existence is a reminder of our insignificance in the face of the cosmos.
Sabrina absorbs the gravity of his words, knowing that her path will inevitably lead to confront such cosmic horrors. So the options now: inquire about any weaknesses or vulnerabilities with the cosmic horrors, which I am not going to ask, because once again that leads my character to give off the vibe that they have no idea what they're doing. Ask about any specific rituals or artifacts that might aid in fending off or banishing them, which I'm not going to ask because that kind of gives away that I'm investigating everything. Seek advice on to maintain one's sanity when confronted that no, there is no maintaining sanity. She should know that. Inquire about any known cults. Also going to say no to that because that would also give off the vibe that I'm specifically investigating these things. Ask if he has any cautionary tales of those who encounter him. That's what we're going to go with. Sabrina leans forward, her curiosity piqued, and asks the shop owner if he has any cautionary tales or stories of others in the area who have confronted these cosmic horrors. The shop owner's expression darkens as he reminisces.
There have been unfortunate souls who have ventured too close to the abyss, lured by the promise of forbidden knowledge. They became entangled in the webs of cults and ancient rituals, their minds shattered by the truths they uncovered.
He takes a moment to gather his thoughts before continuing, his voice filled with a mix of sadness and warning.
One such tale speaks of a professor at Miskatonic University, a brilliant mind who delved too deep into the mysteries of the Necronomicon. His relentless pursuit of arcane truths led him down a path of madness and despair. Eventually he vanished, leaving behind only cryptic notes and a trail of inexplicable events.
The shop owner's eyes grow distant as he recalls another story.
There was a local artist who stumbled upon a hidden cult operating in the outskirts of Arkham. She sought to expose their activities, but they ensnared her in a web of deception and manipulation. Her paintings took on a macabre quality, as if she had glimpsed the true face of cosmic horrors. She disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving her artwork behind as a haunting testament.
He exhales slowly, his gaze fixed on some distant memory.
These stories serve as a grim reminder that the path of the occult is fraught with peril. Knowledge comes at a price, and not all who seek it emerge unscathed.
So I'm getting the vibe that maybe this old guy might not be like totally evil. He seems to have some remorse for these people who get caught up in the Necronomicon and this cult activity, but that still doesn't mean I trust him. And as for Sabrina, who is a supposed occult detective, she would absolutely know that. People who are into the occult are obsessed with power and obtaining this power at any cost. So take notes of this and keep going. So our options now: inquire about any clues that lead or might locate the missing professor, ask if there are surviving members or remnants of the cult encountered, seek advice on how to protect oneself from the influence of Necronomicon, inquire about any local legends or folklore, Request information of known individuals. So again, not going to ask about individual people yet. I am not going to ask about how to protect oneself, and I'm not going to ask about surviving members, just in the case that he perceives me as an easy target, or he might be involved. But let's ask about this missing professor. Sabrina takes out her notepad and pen, jotting down the information provided by the shop owner. Satisfied with the valuable insights gained, she looks up and asks about any clues or leads that might help locate the missing professor. The shop owner strokes his long white beard thoughtfully, his eyes scanning the dimly lit shop as if searching for answers in the shadows.
Ah, the missing professor. There are whispers that he had a fascination with an old abandoned estate on the outskirts of Arkham. Some say he believed it held the key to unlocking forbidden knowledge. If you wish to uncover the truth about his disappearance, that estate might be a good place to start your investigation.
Well, the jig's up. He knows I'm investigating. He leans closer, lowering his voice.
Beware, for the estate has a dark reputation. Strange occurrences have been reported there, and rumors of the occult rituals linger in the air. Many believe it is a place where the boundaries between our world and the eldritch realms blur. But perhaps there you will find the clues you seek.
So we're heading to Halloween Town. Nice. The shop owner reaches under the counter and retrieves a small aged map.
Take this. It marks the location of the estate and may prove useful in your search. But be cautious, my dear detective. The path ahead is treacherous, and the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows are not to be underestimated.
Very appreciative that he's giving me a lot of warnings. I feel like this language has been used already in a previous response. I'm not going to complain about that just yet. I'm just going to take it as he is just an old man looking out for us. Sabrina thanks the shop owner and carefully tucks the map into her pocket, ready to embark on her next step in the investigation. Now, I don't consider him giving us a map an olive branch, because he also could be setting us up for a trap. So there's that. Our new options: head to the abandoned estate, just straight for it on the outskirts of Arkham. Research the history of the estate, which we will be doing at a later time. Seek out the locals who might have information about the estate or the missing professor. Visit Miskatonic to gather more clues. Prepare your equipment. We are going to go to the Shrouded Lantern, the pub. Let's get some tea. Let's get some gossip. Sabrina decides to make her way to the Shrouded Lantern, a local pub known for attracting a diverse range of characters. As she enters, the warmth of the room envelops her, and a low hum of conversations fill the air. The flickering candlelight casts eerie shadows across the worn wooden tables and the faces of patrons. Sabrina finds an empty stool at the bar and signals to the bartender, a burly man with a grizzled beard. He approaches with a friendly smile. "What can I get you, miss?" That kind of sounded like a dwarf from World of Warcraft. We're just going to roll with it. "Whiskey, please," Sabrina replies, her eyes scanning the room for any potential sources of information. As she takes a sip of her drink, she notices a group of locals huddled together in a corner, their voices hushed. They glance in her direction, curiosity evident in their eyes. It seems they might have some knowledge or gossip that could aid her investigation. So, we can approach the group of locals and strike up a conversation, listen in on their conversations, attempting to glean any relevant details, engage the bartender in a friendly chat, hoping he can share any rumors, take a moment to observe the general atmosphere of the pub, noting any suspicious or intriguing individuals, enjoy your drink and casually eavesdrop on the various conversations, which I guess is the name is the last response. We are going to just observe for now, kind of take in what's happening. Sabrina takes a moment to observe the general atmosphere of the Shrouded Lantern. She scans the room, her detective instincts keenly aware of her surroundings. The patrons come from all walks of life, their conversations ranging from mundane gossip to hushed whispers about strange occurrences in Arkham. I was about to say Gotham. As she discreetly looks around, Sabrina notices a man sitting alone at a corner table, his eyes darting nervously from person to person. His demeanor suggests a certain level of unease, and she makes a mental note to keep an eye on him. That guy's mind is completely snapped, and he has seen some things. Turning her attention back to the bartender, Sabrina offers a friendly smile. "Busy night, isn't it? This place seems to attract all sorts of interesting characters. You must have heard some intriguing stories over the years. The bartender chuckles and leans against the counter, his voice low. Aye, that it does, miss. People come here for a drink and forget their troubles, but sometimes they end up sharing more than they intend. I've heard whispers of strange happenings around these parts, tales of cults and dark rituals. Can't say for certain how much is true, but there's a sense of unease in the air. Sabrina nods, sipping her whiskey thoughtfully. Any particular rumors or names that have been circulating lately? The bartender scratches his beard, contemplating her question. Well, there's been talk of a group gathering in the woods not far from here. Strange chance lights seen at night. Some even claim to have glimpsed otherworldly figures. And then there's the old abandoned estate on the outskirts of town. Some say it holds secrets, but it's also said to be cursed, a place where madness reigns. I'm kind of just noticing I switched from dwarf to southern bartender, so once again, we're just going to roll with it. Sabrina's interest is piqued by the bartender's words. Thank you for sharing that with me. Seems there might be more to these rumors than meets the eye. I'll keep my eyes and ears open. The bartender nods, a knowing look in his eyes. You do that, miss. But be careful. Those who dwell too deeply into the mystery of this town have a way of losing themselves. Alright, so inquire about specific individuals who are mentioned, occult or abandoned state. Ask the bartender for any additional details related to the woods or the estate. Offer to buy a round of drinks for the patrons and hoping loosening their tongues. That's going to be a negative because I only have $100. Think the bartender discreetly approached the man sitting alone to inquire about his unease. That's a big negative on that one. Stay observant and eavesdrop on the conversations happening around the pub, hoping to pick up more useful information. At 32 years old, I feel like my character would be a well-seasoned investigator, and she should know to just kind of chill, observe, kind of listen in on people's conversations, and then only jump in at opportune moments. Especially in a town of Arkham, which has a reputation for being pretty sinister and having occult activity, she shouldn't really be trusting people or putting herself out there to become a target. So let's stay observant. Sabrina decides to stay observant and eavesdrop on the conversation happening among the group of locals huddled together in the corner of the pub. She subtly positions herself nearby, feigning casual interest while keeping her ears open. As she listens, fragments of their conversation reach her. They speak in hushed tones, their words laden with a mix of fear and curiosity. The topic seems to revolve around recent unsettling events in Arkham, and their voices betray a sense of urgency. Heard strange noises coming from the woods, like something not of this world. People going missing, vanishing without a trace. It's like they're swallowed by the darkness. Whispers of hidden cult, performing rituals under the moonlight. They say they've made a deal with something unholy. Sabrina's heart quickens at the mention of the cult and the mysterious happenings in the woods. The information aligns with what she had already heard, confirming the gravity of the situation. It becomes evident that she must delve deeper into these matters to uncover the truth. So, continue to eavesdrop, hoping to catch more details, approach the group directly. That's going to be a big negative if they're already tweaking out of their minds about an occult. Someone approaching them is definitely going to send them off the edge. Leave the group for now and discreetly follow any suspicious individuals who might be linked to the cult in the woods. Return to the bartender to share the information you overheard. That's going to be a no. Stay observant and try to identify any gestures or symbols that the group might be using. Ding, 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 we have a winner on that one. Sabrina remains focused, keenly observing the group's conversation for any gestures or symbols that might reveal more about their discussion. She carefully watches their interactions, looking for any subtle clues or signs that could shed light on the occult or mysteries happening in the woods. As the conversation progresses, Sabrina notices one of the individuals discreetly tracing a symbol on the palm of their hand with their finger. The symbol resembles a twisted spiral, its intricate design hinting at something arcane and esoteric. It is a gesture that seems to carry hidden meaning within the group. Her eyes widen with recognition as she recalls encountering a similar symbol in her research on ancient occult practices. It is associated with a forbidden ritual that invokes otherworldly entities. The symbol holds significance for those deeply involved in the dark arts. Sabrina jots down a quick sketch of the symbol in her notepad, ensuring she captures its details accordingly. She knows that further investigation and research will be necessary to decipher its true meaning and implications. Okay, so we finally found something that we could research in our books or at Miskatonic, so there's that. So our options now are approach the group discreetly, inquire about the symbols, no, because they are not going to trust me, share her findings with the bartender, seeking any additional knowledge he might possess, continue observing the group, hoping to catch any further gestures or symbols, leave the pub and head to her lodgings, look for any nearby books or resources in the pub that might offer information on the symbol. I like that option because there might be something in the room that has the same symbol on it that could unravel more detail. Sabrina scans the surroundings of the pub, her gaze focused on the various books, signs, and walls. She carefully looks for any trace of the symbol she observed the group using during the conversation. As her eyes wander across the shelves and at the establishment's decor, she spots a faded painting hanging on the wall near the group's table. Stepping closer, she realizes that the painting depicts an ancient scene, filled with cryptic symbols and eerie figures. Among the symbols, there it is. The twisted spiral symbol she saw traced on the hand of one of the individuals. Bingo. Now in reality, I think that the game should have asked me for a spot hidden check on that one, because that would dictate if I found it or not, versus just kind of aimlessly looking around. Maybe this painting and the symbol are just in plain sight that doesn't really require a spot hidden check, but I digress. She compares the symbol on the painting to the sketch in her notepad, confirming their resemblance. It becomes evident that the symbol holds significance not only for the group, but also for the pub itself. Sabrina ponders the implications, wondering if the pub has connections to the cult or if it serves as a meeting place for those involved in the cult. It could be a potential source of information or a place she might encounter additional leads. I'm going to go with yes. A lot of times we see kind of markings or glyphs in places that would mark a location for cultists to meet up or to congregate without alerting anyone to their presence. Because I don't think that Arkham would be very appreciative of cultists having like a weekly newsletter and get together. So our options are approach the bartender and discreetly inquire about the painting, asking if he knows its origin or meaning, discreetly examine the painting more closely, looking for any hidden clues, stay observant in the pub, discreetly ask the other patrons if they're familiar with the painting or its symbolism, take a photograph or make a detailed sketch of the painting, and return to her lodgings. I'm going to go with make a detailed sketch, but I also want to ask the bartender about the painting, because if he's been here for an established period of time, he could possibly know more information that we need. Sabrina approaches the bartender, maintaining an air of casual curiosity, and gestures towards the painting hanging on the wall near the group's table. She inquires about its origin and meaning, aiming to gather information without revealing her true investigative intent. With a friendly smile, she asks the bartender, "That painting over there caught my attention. It seems to have some intriguing symbolism. You happen to know anything about it, its origin, or the story behind it?" The bartender's eyes light up, seemingly pleased by her interest. He leans closer and says in a hushed tone, "Ah, that painting. Been there for as long as I can remember. No one knows who the artist is or where it came from, but it's said to be quite old. Some claim it holds mystical significance, a glimpse into the hidden truths of the universe." He gestures towards this twisted spiral symbol prominently featured in the painting. "That symbol you see there? Said to be an ancient sigil of power, connected to the arcane and the occult. People have come and gone asking about its meaning, but it remains a mystery." Sabrina nods, her curiosity growing. "Thank you for sharing that with me. It's truly fascinating. I'll have to delve deeper into its symbolism and see what secrets it might hold." The bartender nods appreciatively, a hint of intrigue in his eyes. "You're welcome, miss. It's always good to see someone with an appreciation for the mysteries of this world. If you find anything interesting, do share it with me." Sabrina thanks the bartender and takes a mental note of his openness to discussions of the occult. The painting and its associated symbol may prove to be valuable clues in her investigation. He seems just like a regular guy. He probably sees a lot, but he may not be kind of wanting to lead on to how much he knows. I'm assuming he's seen a lot of strange things and people come in and out of this bar, so it's when it mentions, mental note of the openness to discussions, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Options now: discreetly inquire if the bartender has any knowledge of individuals who shown an interest in the painting. Ask if there are any local legends or rumors connected to the painting. Thank the bartender and continue observing the pub for any further interactions. Take a photograph or a detailed sketch of the painting for further analysis. Return to a group of locals. See if any of them has knowledge or insight into the painting or symbolism. I'm going to sketch the painting in more detail so I can study it back at my lodgings, wherever that is, and then ask about any rumors. Sabrina takes a moment to make a quick but detailed sketch of the painting, capturing its intricate details and its twisted spiral symbol. She thanks the bartender for his previous insights and then asks if there are any local rumors or legends connected to the painting and its symbolism. The bartender leans against the counter, thoughtful for a moment. Well, there have been whispers among the regulars, some claiming that the painting has a certain power to it. They say it can reveal hidden truths or bring forth strange visions to those who truly understand its symbolism. He pauses, studying Sabrina's sketch with interest. As for legends, there's a tale that the painting is linked to a secret society that delves into the occult. They believe it holds a key to unlocking otherworldly knowledge. But whether it's just a local myth or something more, well, that's for you to uncover. Sabrina nods, appreciating the bartender's insights. Thank you for sharing that with me. It seems this painting holds deeper secrets than meets the eye. I'll make sure to delve further into its mysteries. Okay, so now we're seeing a repetition with some dialogue. Yeah, that was definitely said already. The bartender smiles, a glint of excitement in his eyes. Good luck on your journey, miss. Should you uncover any truths about the painting or its symbolism, I'd love to hear what you have to find. And again, that is literally the same line we just heard. So hopefully that doesn't keep repeating, because that would get kind of annoying after a while, but hey, we'll see. At this point, I feel like Sabrina has a good head start on the investigation. She's heard some local rumors, she's got some intel, she has the painting and the symbol that she can consult her books on. Send her back to her lodging so we can do some research. Sabrina settles her tab with the bartender and bids him farewell. With the sketch of the painting safely tucked away, she makes her way back to her lodgings, eager to analyze it further and conduct in-depth research on its symbolism. Once inside her room, Sabrina carefully lays out her materials on a sturdy table. She places the sketch of the painting in front of her and retrieves her collection of occult books and reference materials. Opening them one by one, she meticulously examines the pages, searching for any clues or references to the twisted spiral symbol or similar occult symbols. Okay, so already the game is rolling dice for me, which I do not like. Which, if I'm not mistaken, in the prompt it does say something about let me roll dice. It says manage combat dice. Yeah. I'm just gonna have to fix the prompt after I tell it what to do. That way my character can be allowed to make dice rolls without it automatically doing, because at this point it's an automatic success, so the story is going to continue to go on. As she delves deeper into her research, Sabrina cross-references the symbolism and notes any potential associations with rituals, entities, or hidden knowledge. She studies the historical context, the writings of renowned occultists, and any local legends that might be linked to the painting and its enigmatic symbol. Hours pass as Sabrina immerses herself in her investigation. She takes meticulous notes, connecting the dots and piecing together fragments of information to gain a deeper understanding of the painting's significance and the secrets it might hold. This is where it says dice roll investigation, and the game just does it for me, so I passed. Sabrina's thorough research and keen analytical skills yield fruitful results. She uncovers references to similar symbols in ancient grimoires, mentions of hidden occults with connections to the occult, and even hints at rituals associated with unlocking forbidden knowledge. Armed with this newfound information, Sabrina feels more prepared to delve further into the mysteries surrounding the painting and its symbols. So something I don't like is that it keeps repeating this, like through her research she uncovers similar symbols, mentions of cults and blah blah blah, but then it actually doesn't tell me anything. So I'm probably definitely going to ask that, and my response is already, I need to roll for ability checks, or in combat let me roll, and I'll input the number manually. Also going to ask it to let me do spot checks as well. But for our options, we have study the information, looking for patterns and connections, consult her contacts or informants to see if they have additional knowledge about the painting, research the local history and any notable individuals, Prepare a return visit to the Shrouded Lantern to gather more info. Take a moment to rest and reflect, allowing the insights gathered from research to settle down before determining her next course of action. So we're going to study a little bit more, and we're going to look for patterns and connections, because it sounds like we passed this investigative check and we're starting to uncover more. So I just want to see if any of our new insights help us. Sabrina carefully studies the information and notes she has gathered, meticulously examining the detailed symbols and references. She arranges her findings on the table, organizing them in a logical manner, and begins searching for patterns or connections that might reveal the painting's secrets. As she scrutinizes the material, Sabrina starts to notice recurring themes and common threads. The twisted spiral symbol appears in various contexts, often associated with dark rituals, cosmic entities, and forbidden knowledge. References to hidden cults and their practices emerge, hinting at their involvement with the occult and potential ties to the painting. She draws connections between the symbol and certain texts that speak of opening portals to other realms or communing with ancient entities. Clues within the text point towards the importance of specific celestial alignments and locations, possibly relevant to unlocking the painting's true meaning. Okay, so now we're getting some actual details. So the symbol and the painting deal with either opening a portal to another dimension or entity, or speaking with them, but it depends on these celestial alignments. Sabrina's mind races, considering the possibilities and implications of the information she has gathered. It becomes clear that the painting holds significance beyond its aesthetic value, acting as a portal to an esoteric realm of knowledge and power. Taking a deep breath, Sabrina prepares herself for the next step in her investigation. She knows she must seek out the hidden cults, explore the designated locations, and understand the celestial alignments that might reveal the painting's secrets. So we have begin researching the specific celestial alignments mentioned in the text, research further into the hidden cults, their history, and potential members or leaders, explore the designated locations mentioned in the text, looking for connections to painting and symbolism, seek out any individuals who might possess additional knowledge or insight about the painting, plan a careful approach for the next steps in her investigation, considering potential risks and contingency. So I feel like now the investigation has a solid groundwork. We know there's mysterious happenings in the outskirts of Arkham, potentially connected to this estate where we had this missing professor as well as this missing painter who got caught up in their activities. Now we have a group of individuals who have been talking about said estate, drawing this mysterious symbol on their hand, which is then appearing on a painting that now, after doing some solid research, is connected to opening a realm to knowledge and power. What this realm is, who's in there, or how to align with these celestial alignments are all unknown, but I'm sure once we dive into this investigation phase first, we'll start uncovering the details. So far, this has been a solid start. In very typical TTRPG or tabletop RPG fashion, we have, very bare bones information about the start of this investigation that brings us to the town, which is Arkham. Our investigator, who is an occult detective, put boots on the ground immediately and started investigating a local pub for rumors, which we got a ton of information, as well as information from the local occult store and the old owner. Now, in my opinion, this is where the real test begins. Most of the time when I tried to solo run a Call of Cthulhu investigation with Chat GPT, it had a really hard time with continuity. Now, obviously, you can re-mention to the AI that it missed something and then it will correct it. However, in the past, when I've made those corrections with more simplistic prompts, even when I told it to fix something, it still had a continuity error between what it was trying to say with my corrections, and everything kind of got jumbled up. So we will end by saying Sabrina will take a moment to rest and reflect, allowing the insights gained from her research to settle. She will then plan the next steps in her investigation, considering potential risks and contingencies before turning in for the night. Not trusting of Arkham, she locks the doors/windows and pulls the shades closed before going to bed. There ain't going to be any shadow over Innsmouth nonsense this early on. Sabrina takes a moment to rest and reflect, allowing the insights gained from her research to settle within her mind. She recognizes the importance of careful planning for the next steps in her investigation, considering potential risks and contingencies. With a sense of cautiousness, she decides to turn in for the night and to ensure her safety in the unfamiliar town of Arkham. She locks the doors and windows of her lodging, ensuring that no unwanted intruders can enter. Pulling the shades closed, she envelops herself in darkness, shielding herself from prying eyes. The sound of her own breath fills the room as she settles into bed, her thoughts consumed by the mysteries she seeks to unravel. Aware of the ever-present dangers lurking in the shadows of Arkham, Sabrina remains vigilant even within the confines of her lodgings. She keeps her occult books and research materials close by, ready to be consulted at a moment's notice. The night passes with silence and a sense of foreboding lingering in the air. Morning arrives, casting a pale light through the cracks in the curtain. Sabrina awakens, her mind clear and her determination resolute. Today, she will embark on her next phase of her investigation, armed with the insights gained from her research and prepared for the risks that lie ahead. And we got some character sheet updates. Experience points to be updated according to progress, which I'm assuming is a skill advancement. Inventory to be updated as needed. Currency, bullets, lockpicks, current location. So the only thing I really succeeded on was an investigation check, so I can roll to see if that improved. Clickety clackety, I roll for a tacky. 72. Now going back in the prompt, it says investigation, but investigation is actually not a skill. How I'm going to take that is that this is a form of library use. This is like gatekeeper, DM discretion. I just think that, you know, with her extensive books and materials, this is theoretically library use. 72 is better than my 70 skill, so I will level that up. And I also told it to, going forward, please let me do a spot hidden check instead of doing it automatically. That way we get based on what roll we get, and it says I will allow to determine your character based on the successful roll. It will allow for more interaction and immersion. That's exactly what I was going for in the first place. Roll a d3 and I got a 2, so now my investigation library use will be a 72 instead of 70. And yes, I say please, even though it's AI. In the very real, possible, but faint chance we have a Terminator situation, I want them to, I said please and thank yous. And then we'll just tell it to use library skill next time, so that way the prompts get a little better. But that's it for today. So far, I'm really enjoying this investigation, even though it's the beginnings. It's still beginning very strong. Next episode, where we're going to dive more into the story and kind of going into the different investigations, is going to be the make or break for me. That will reveal how strong the continuity is, and fingers crossed, I am really hoping it does. Like most tabletop groups, mine is plagued with reschedules, so I have been just dying to play some Call of Cthulhu. I'm hoping this is going to be like a fun substitute / alternative for when our group can't meet. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously dropping a like or comment is greatly appreciated. I will also be dropping this episode on my Spotify account in podcast format. Regardless if you're watching this on YouTube or listening in on Spotify, obviously hit that subscribe button for more content, because episode 2 we will be picking up right where we left off, so stay tuned.